I rate the birthday 2 out of 5 stars. Like, you are not Keith Lee. You should not be rating anything. It's a birthday party. Sit down and have fun.
Hey, it's me.
Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha June, and today we're going to be talking about what it is to be a girl's girl, and etc. Now, on this channel, before we get into the nitty gritty, we like to do our verse of the day. I don't know why I'm referring to myself as we. I like to do the verse of the day as a way to give some time and honor to God before we get started. So, our verse of today is Proverbs 14, verse 30. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. So, in this video, we are going to be talking about what it means to be a girl's girl. In my last two videos, I talked about pick me women and pick me men. So I figured talking about what it is to be a girl's girl is a perfect way to kind of wrap up this little series we went on. I'm not going to talk about being a guy's guy because I'm not a guy and I don't know what that means. But I do think know what it means to be a girl's girl. So, what is a girl's girl in my definition? A girl's girl would be a girl who she values other women. She cares about their opinions. She's more about uplifting women, encouraging them. A girl's girl is the kind of girl where if she sees you leaving the bathroom with like toilet paper under your shoe, she's gonna be like, hey girl, like there's toilet paper under your shoe, whatever. Or if she sees you alone at a party or maybe a guy's hitting on you and maybe she could tell you seem uncomfortable, she's gonna check on you and make sure you're okay, or even act like she's your friend to just make sure you're okay if some guy might be bothering you, or if you're alone and maybe people might be taking advantage of the fact that you're alone in a out situation. So I think a girl's girl is someone like that, and she also follows girl code. Now, before we talk about girl code, I want to talk about Urban Dictionary's definition of a girl's girl. It's going to be inserted here. So, Urban Dictionary defines a girl's girl as a woman who follows female etiquette and has respect for it. She's not petty and she strives to be ethical, considerate, moderate when dealing with other women. I like this definition. However, I do not agree with the use of the term female etiquette. Now, why is that? If we are going to define girl's girl, we have to talk about what female etiquette is. So, what is female etiquette? Female etiquette was something that became very popularized in the 1900s in early America amongst women. There was a woman named Emily Post who would release these guidebooks and just these guides on what it meant to be feminine and what it meant to display female etiquette. So, female etiquette back then could look like how you ate, or what kind of dresses you wore to dinner, or your mannerisms and XYZ. And so, I feel like the reason I don't agree with female etiquette being the base of being a girl's girl is because I think nowadays there's a lot more flexibility and you're a lot more flexible in how you can support women. Back then, I think when you supported women, you supported a woman who looked a very certain way and who was a certain way as long as she followed those standards that were held for women back then. Whereas nowadays, I think being a girl's girl is being supportive of a woman, even if she might not be your aesthetic of a woman, or even if she may not look how you look. So, if you see an alternative girl who has red hair and tattoos and piercings and XYZ, and maybe you're not the type to get piercings, or you're not the type to get tattoos, I think a girl's girl would be like, oh my gosh, girl, like you look amazing. I love that. Like, you know what I mean? Like you are able to encourage women even if you don't look like them, or even if they don't have the same values as you, XYZ, as long as those values are not dangerous. So that is what I interpret as being a girl's girl. And I do think that everybody is capable of being a girl's girl. And to be clear, even if you're not a girl's girl, that doesn't mean you're automatically a pick me, or you're automatically a guy's girl, which guy's girl, I've learned, is essentially another term for a pick me. It's just a woman who, desires men. But I'm not going to get into pick me's because I talked about that 2 videos ago. So if you haven't seen that yet, please go watch that video. I would really appreciate it. Now, I want to actually talk about a recent example in like modern drama, if you will, that kind of shows what is not a girl's girl. Not to put anybody on blast, but if you're on TikTok, as much as I am at least, you probably get little scoops of drama in your timeline and like TikTok drama that kind of goes full circle, XYZ. So I'm talking about the Reagan birthday situation. Now you might be like, Samantha, we are not chronically online. What are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. So Reagan is a TikTok creator. She has, if I remember correctly, like 2 million followers. She's pretty big on TikTok. And she was throwing herself a birthday bash. She threw herself a birthday bash. She invited her friends, like other TikTok creators, but just really her close friends who happen to be influencers, XYZ. And she allowed her friends to bring plus ones. So Reagan in this situation, she's not the issue. She's awesome, and I think she's really beautiful. Now, here's where someone comes in and it's like, ooh, that was not, you're not a girl's girl. A girl named Marina, I'm not going to say her full name because I can't pronounce it, but I'm not going to say her full name. A girl named Marina is invited as a plus one to Reagan's birthday party. Cool. She posts a video, and in this video she's talking about how the party wasn't fun and she expected so much more, and Reagan didn't send Ubers to pick up everyone, and she didn't have an open bar, which it was proven that she did have an open bar. She didn't have gifts for the people who came to her party, XYZ. Like, oh, this was an influencer birthday party, I just expected so much more. So she posted that video, and I think she was expecting when she posted that video for people to agree with her, but she got a lot of backlash, rightfully so, because you were invited to somebody's private birthday party. It wasn't an influencer event, it wasn't sponsored by anybody or XYZ. You were invited to a private birthday party that somebody paid for out of, their pockets, and you criticized the party. You posted footage of the party early days cuz as you know, if you go to a party and they say, "Hey, the party started at 11," and you get there at 11 and you think people go be there, nobody's gonna be there. If the party starts at 11, that means it really starts at 1, in my opinion. So she posted clips of the party just starting, saying it was boring, XYZ, and she left after like 30 minutes, whatever. But she did all of this, I think looking for like approval or agreement in the social scene of like, oh yeah, it was an influencer birthday party. It should have been better. But no, she was not met with that, which is honestly great, awesome. I am gonna insert some clips of this event.
Here were the vibes of the party. I was there. I think we went to two very different parties.
Okay, so as you see in the clips, it was disproven by another influencer who was at the party that, the party actually was jumping. It was a lot of fun. There was drinks being given, XYZ. She just left too early. And so I think this is like a modern, like, drama. Modern drama, is that the word? I think this is like a modern situation that kind of shows what it looks like to not be a girl's girl. Because, in my opinion, it just wasn't kind of Marina to, upload these pictures, have these complaints, when really she should have just been grateful. It's not often that someone's willing to give every single person invited to their party a plus one and then have an open bar and XYZ. And at the end of the day, it was a birthday party. I think going into a birthday party with this mindset of, oh, we're supposed to get gifts and we're supposed to this and we're supposed to that, I rate the birthday 2 out of 5 stars. Like, you are not Keith Lee. You should not be rating anything. It's a birthday party. Sit down and have fun, or stand up and have fun, girl. I don't know. But yeah, this is not a girl's girl, in my opinion. Now, I'm not calling Marina a pick me because I don't know her, but I think she had a very big lapse of judgment here. And that's one thing we have to realize with social media when we're about to post something. Is this needed? Is this intended? And what are going to be the effects after I post this? So hopefully she learns that now moving forward. And I do wish her luck on her journey of becoming an influencer because she is a micro influencer herself. So I hope that her journey goes well and that she's able to learn from this situation. Now, for this part of the video, we're going to talk about what isn't a girl's girl in general. And I say this because I've noticed a lot of the time, in order to be a girl's girl, we tend to enable people, even if they're doing something that's wrong. And that's not being a girl's girl. You're just being a yes man. Like, you're being an enabler, which is not cool. For example, let's say, like there are male serial killers and there are female serial killers. Obviously, female serial killers are not as prevalent as male serial killers, especially like back then and now. They're not as prevalent, but they exist. I think it's really funny, and I know it's usually a joke, but I just think it's funny when there are women who do these bad things, but since they do it towards men, everybody's like, "Yes, girl boss, like you go queen, like rob that man and, kill man, awesome." Like, you know what I mean? Like people hype it up because you're a woman rather than actually being like, hey, morally what you're doing is not okay. Like they don't hold you accountable. I don't think that's being a girl's girl. Like if you have a friend and your friend cheats on her man all the time and XYZ, and she just treats your man, she treats her man in a terrible way, or she's not kind to him, and you're just over here like, girl boss, yeah, like you show him XYZ. No, she's a meanie. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but she's a meanie. If you cheat on people, you're a meanie. I don't care if you're a girl, a guy, whatever. If you cheat on people, you low key kind of suck. I'm not hyping that up ever. I'm not enabling that ever. So I think, we get to this point where just because a woman is doing it, it's like, awesome girl, you go queen. And me personally, I believe in women's wrongs. Sometimes you girls are very wrong. Sometimes y'all are very not right in the head. Sometimes y'all are very not right in the way you move. And that's just what I believe. And it's true because we're all human. We make mistakes. We do wrong things. I don't think anybody is exempt from that. And I think if you call somebody out, especially if you call another woman out for doing something wrong, it doesn't make you less of a girl's girl. If anything, you're trying to, in theory, because some people do call people out and it's malicious. But in theory, you're trying to build her up, you're trying to criticize her constructively because there's a growth that can be had. If you're not criticizing someone constructively, like if you're not criticizing someone in hopes of their growth, I would say don't say anything. It's one thing to say something just to say it and to say it maliciously. It's another thing to just genuinely be like, hey, I think you need to work on XYZ because I think, if you improve in this, it's going to benefit that or XYZ. So that's constructive criticism is great. And you being able to constructively criticize somebody does not make you less of a girl's girl, in my opinion. Now, the other day I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw this tweet. And in this tweet, a girl kind of gets a text message from a random account, I believe on Instagram or Twitter. And it's a girl using her photos to catfish people. And she's just like, hey, can you send me more pictures? Or can you show up to this date as me? Because I've been catfishing this guy with your photos. And rightfully, the girl whose photos are being stolen says, no, I'm not going to do that. Can you guys believe that not only does the person using her photos call her like, oh, you're not a girl's girl, but there were people in the Twitter comments telling her, you're not a girl's girl. Like, maybe the catfish is insecure and that's why she's using your photos. Like, you should just support her for the one time and show up on the day XYZ. And it just makes no sense because, yes, the catfish is a woman. Yay, woman. But just because you're a woman does not mean you get to use my photos, especially if you're using my photos and you got a sugar daddy or something. Honestly, at that point, you got to run me some coin or something. But, you can't use somebody else's photos to catfish people and then be upset that they want you to stop using their photos or be upset that they want you to, like, leave them alone. I don't think it's fair to respond to that and be like, oh, you're not a girl's girl because you're not supporting me, XYZ. Like, you're not enabling me. And I think sometimes women think in order for a woman to be a girl's girl, they have to support everything that they do. And it's like, no. If anything, I'm going to respect you. I'm going to value you. I value your opinions. I respect your opinions. But if you're doing some stupid stuff, girl, one thing about me, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be very straightforward. You look ridiculous right now. You're acting ridiculous, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna just tell you what's up 9 times out of 10. I have that one time out of 10 where I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna just keep praying. Yeah, but most of the time I'm gonna say something. So I think it's very dangerous to just enable anybody, and we should give constructive criticism where it is due. Now, if you made it this far in the video, I would love for you to leave a comment down below. Have you ever had an experience where somebody claimed to be a girl's girl, but what they were doing wasn't really girl's girl like? I don't know. I want to hear about it. So, as always, I can't wait to see you guys next time, and thank you so much for watching. Bye, babies.